Your cut is healing. So why does it itch so badly? The wound is only 2 millimeters deep, but histamine is flooding the area. Mast cells are screaming for reinforcements. New nerve endings are sprouting through fresh tissue. Your skin is rebuilding itself in real time, and the itch you feel is the construction crew at work. Scratching tears the new fibrin and restarts the entire process. When you cut yourself, the first responders aren't blood clotting agents. They're mast cells. These are immune cells stationed throughout your skin, packed with tiny granules of a chemical called histamine. Within seconds of injury, mast cells degranulate, dumping histamine into the surrounding tissue. Histamine's job is to call for backup. It binds to receptors on nearby blood vessels and tells them to do two things: widen and become leaky. Wider vessels mean more blood reaches the wound. Leakier vessels mean immune cells and plasma proteins can squeeze through the vessel walls and pour into the damaged area. This is why a fresh cut turns red and swells. That redness and puffiness isn't damage, it's reinforcements arriving. Neutrophils sterilize the wound. Macrophages eat the debris. Fibroblasts start laying down collagen scaffolding. And the whole operation is being coordinated by histamine, the chemical messenger that started it all. But histamine doesn't just signal blood vessels. It also signals nerves. Your skin contains two completely separate kinds of nerve fibers for warning you about damage. The first kind are called A-delta fibers. They're fast, thickly insulated with myelin, and they carry sharp pain, the immediate ouch when you slice your finger. The second kind are called C fibers. They're slow, thinly insulated, and they carry a different signal: itch. For decades, scientists thought itch was just a weak version of pain. It isn't. In the early 2000s, researchers found a specific subset of C fibers that fire only when histamine touches them. They have their own dedicated receptor, the H1 receptor, and their own dedicated pathway up the spinal cord to the brain. When histamine floods your healing wound and reaches these fibers, they fire. Not pain, itch, specifically. And there's an evolutionary reason for the split. Pain makes you pull away from a threat. Itch makes you reach toward the spot, to inspect it, brush it off, remove whatever foreign thing might be there. In a healing wound, that reflex used to be useful for scraping out insects, parasites, or scabs that had collected debris. Today, mostly, it just makes you scratch. Scratching feels amazing for a reason. Drawing fingernails across the skin activates A-delta pain fibers, and pain signals temporarily suppress itch signals at the spinal cord level. The itch gets drowned out. The relief is real. But there's a catastrophic catch. The mechanical trauma of scratching damages the freshly forming fibrin clot, that mesh of protein threads acting as the temporary scaffold while real tissue rebuilds underneath. Tearing it triggers another wave of mast cell degranulation. More histamine pours out. More C fibers fire. The itch comes back stronger within minutes. And now you've also restarted the inflammatory clock. The wound has to redo work it had already finished. Worse, scratching breaches the partial skin barrier and opens the door to staph and strep bacteria living on your skin surface. A healing cut that gets scratched repeatedly can become a healing cut that gets infected, which extends recovery from days into weeks. The right move is counterintuitive: cover the wound. A bandage blocks scratching, holds moisture in so fibroblasts can work faster, and traps histamine where it can finish its job and then break down naturally. The itch fades. The skin closes. The construction crew goes home. That's why your healing cut itches. Histamine calling for reinforcements on a dedicated nerve line, with scratching as the trap. Subscribe to Curious Science for more body mechanisms explain the way they actually work. Tomorrow, why some people sneeze in sunlight, and the photic sneeze reflex gene 1 in 4 of us carry.